Welcome to worship with Eliot Unitarian Chapel. I am the Reverend Barbara Gadon, and I am honored and delighted to serve as your lead minister. So, I miss you. And as quarantine goes on, we're starting to feel the restraints, right? What we can't do, who we can't see. We're starting to miss people a lot. We are now hearing news from people that we know who've been diagnosed. And some people who are sick, some even who have died. Some people have lost their jobs, and some have children who've lost jobs. And it's an overwhelming feeling sometimes, isn't it? So this week, we decided to focus our service on beauty, on how beauty uplifts us and somehow offers us a sense of respite in difficult times. This service came together as an ensemble effort. Jan Chamberlin put it together. Thank you, Jan. And it started out when I received this lovely recording of the Sonata in E minor by Veracini, an 18th century violinist and composer from Florence. And it was recorded by our own Dr. Flo Reaves. She's accompanied on the piano by Stephanie Gummersheimer. And we've also asked Bruce MacKenzie and Marcia Manny to suggest poetry to be shared between the movements. I hope that you find this music and beauty and poetry part of what inspires you for the week and gives you a little bit of rest. I have lit the chalice, which is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. And if you have a candle or a chalice handy, or if you want to pause and get one, I invite you to light yours with me. May this flame kindle here in your home and in mine, in your heart and mine, brighten all of our spirits and give us a little more light to see by.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning, everyone. It's time for all ages with Miss Noel. Today's story is potatoes, eggs, and coffee beans. Now, I didn't find an author, but this story can be found on the Begin With Yes website. So, once upon a time, a daughter complained to her father that her life was miserable and that she didn't know how she was going to make it. She was tired of fighting and struggling all the time. It seemed just as one problem was solved, another one soon followed. Her father, a chef, took her to the kitchen. He filled 3 pots with water and placed each on a high fire. Once the 3 pots began to boil, he placed potatoes in one pot, eggs in the second pot, and ground beans in the third pot. He then let them sit and boil without saying a word to his daughter. The daughter moaned and impatiently waited, wondering what he was doing. After 20 minutes, he turned off the burners. He took the potatoes out of the pot and placed them in a bowl. He took the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. He then ladled the coffee out and placed it in a cup. Turning to her, he asked, "What do you see?" "Potatoes, eggs, and coffee," she hastily replied. "Look closer," he said, "and touch the potatoes." She did, and noted that they were soft. He then asked her to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, he asked her to sip the coffee. Its rich aroma brought a smile to her face. "Father, what does this mean?" she asked. He explained that the potatoes, the eggs, and coffee beans had each faced the same adversity, the boiling water. However, each one reacted differently. The potato went in strong, hard, and unrelenting, but in boiling water, it became soft and weak. The egg was fragile, with thin outer shell protecting its liquid interior until it was put in the boiling water. Then, the inside of the egg became hard. However, the ground coffee beans were unique. After they were exposed to the boiling water, they changed the water and created something new. "Which one are you?" he asked his daughter. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean?" So, the moral of the story is, in life, things happen around us, and things happen to us. The only thing that truly matters is your choice of how you react to it and what you make of it. Learn, adapt, and choose to make the best of each experience. And that's our story. Have a great morning.
I invite you now into a time of prayer and meditation. If you wish to, you may plant your feet flat on the floor, straighten your spine, close your eyes, and follow your breath in and out. Get comfortable. And I invite you to connect in your mind and in your heart with people whom you love, who love you. See our faces, hear our voices. Remember what it feels like to hold our hands or offer a hug. Know that this is the web of life, whom some call God. This is what connects you and grounds you and makes you who you are. Take a moment now, even as you may feel very separate, to share this moment with your community. Take a moment to remember that whatever you're feeling right now is okay. And take a moment to remember that you can be many different things: worried and hopeful, angry and relieved, afraid and distracted, numb and overwhelmed, and peaceful, comforted and able to comfort others. You may experience laughter and tears. All are acceptable. All are normal. All are human and all are divine. They all belong to you and they belong in the world. No feeling is final. The poet Rilke said, keep going, and take my hand. Now let us dwell together for a moment of silent prayer and meditation. Into this shared silence, you may now speak the name of any you wish to hold up for the love and prayers of this community. It may even be your own name, or you can type a name that you want to share with us. Amen. This poem is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of the bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.
The poem I'm going to read is entitled Small Kindnesses. I want to give it a little background because it doesn't seem like an obvious poem to read at this time when we're sequestered. It's all about relationships, how we get along with one another. When I read it, I thought it was a little bit like hearing a phone call from a world that I had begun to forget. The poem was published way back in September of 2019 in the New York Times magazine. And the editor of this poem is the poet Naomi Shihab Nye. And she said, "It almost feels like another hope we remember having, acknowledging the modern plight of autonomy and so many separations. The poem then easily passes through them, breezing compliments and simple care." So she's suggesting that we were apart from one another long before there was a pandemic and social distancing. Art is often prophetic in that way. So, Small Kindnesses by Danusha Laméris. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or how strangers still say bless you when someone sneezes, a leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we are saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back. For the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, "Here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat."
poem by Katherine Riegel is called What I Would Like to Grow in My Garden. Peonies, heavy and pink as 1980s bridesmaid dresses, and scented just the same. Sweet pea, because I like clashing smells, and the car that I drove in college was named that, a pea green Datsun with a tendency to backfire. Sugar snap peas, which I may as well call memory bites, for how they taste like being 14 and still mourning the horse farm I had been uprooted from at 10. Also, sage, mint, and thyme, the clocks of summer, and watermelon and blue lobelia. Lavender for the bees, and because I hate all fake lavender smells. Tomatoes to cut and place on toasted bread for BLTs with or without the B and the L. I'd like, too, to plant the sweet alyssum that smells like honey and peace, and for it to bloom even when it's hot. And also lilies, so I have something left to look at when the rabbits come. They always come. They are always hungry. And I think I am done protecting one sweet thing from another.
Instructions on Not Giving Up by Ada Limón. More than the fuchsia funnels breaking out of the crabapple tree, more than the neighbor's almost obscene display of cherry limbs shoving their cotton candy-colored blossoms to the slate sky of spring rains, it's the greening of the trees that really gets to me. When all the shock of white and taffy, the world's baubles and trinkets, leave the pavement strewn with the confetti of aftermath, the leaves come. Patient, plodding, a green skin growing over whatever winter did to us, a return to the strange idea of continuous living despite the mess of us, the hurt, the empty. Fine then, I'll take it, the tree seems to say, a new slick leaf unfurling like a fist to an open palm. I'll take it all.
Now may the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. Go in peace, my friends. Go in peace.